Haha, He-Man, I have this evil puzzle box that'll summon a dark evil being that can defeat even you. And even though that'll make him more powerful than me, I'm sure he'll do my bidding because that's how it works. Oh my god, toy collectors of the world, guess what's out? It is the Funko Savage World of the horror monsters of modern day cinema. But they're very muscleized, very similar to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. First, we have a Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. Halloween Resurrection, Michael Myers. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, Pinhead. And my particular favorite, Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees. The back of the figures are generally the same. There's no bio or anything like that on there. But they do make sure to show several of the different logos of the studios that produced and made the films. I'll open all of these figures and show them individually. They do have pretty much the same articulation. However, they do also come with separate accessories that are unique to their own characters. Their card has the same standard background, with the exception of their title being different. These probably aren't going to be collector's edition anytime down the line. That's why I don't really mind opening them up. But who knows, maybe there'll be one day that some people say, hey, I need to get these figures. Well, that's enough chit-chatting about the packaging and the figures themselves. Let's go and open these guys up. And here they are. Like I said, each of them come with their own unique accessories. I personally feel like Pinhead would be the leader of this group, so let's go and look at him first. He comes with his detailed puzzle box, which I gotta admit, this actually looks pretty darn good. He also comes with a jagged knife and this sickle blade thingamabob. I actually have no idea what it's really called. Oh, look at that chest. Damn. The nails in his head, the pins in his head, I should say, are pretty darn sturdy. They're not sharp or anything like that, but still, they're much tougher than I thought they'd be. Here's a view underneath his underwear skirt. Very standard He-Man-ish boots. Doesn't he look just like he's totally pissed off at you? A bit closer look at his clothing, you can see the stitches that they put into it, so this is part of the sculpt. I'm almost disappointed that they didn't put a spring inside of his waist so that you can kind of push his arm to the side and then have him swing forward as if he's punching you. But I guess that'd be way too much effort and it'd be a blatant He-Man ripoff at that point. Next up is Leatherface, which is a bit unique amongst the figures because he has an interchangeable hand. I'm probably going to display him with his chainsaw hand, which you can see the details in this. This is pretty sharp too, by the way. No joke, you could possibly prick yourself on this. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Bam. Okay. Wow, that was harder than I thought. Giggity. Yep, definitely prefer the chainsaw hand instead. Close-up of his face, you can see he's not quite as angry as Pinhead is, although really you may not be able to know, being that he is wearing a human flesh mask. I'm glad they put on the whole detail of having blood splattered on his apron and chest. Underneath the apron, he's got the furry skirt underwear. They also made sure to add the whole brace aspect to his arm, and he has the chain hook belt that's sculpted into his body. The Leatherface character may be the character that scared me the most out of all the figures that are represented out of this bunch. Next, we have Freddy Krueger. His one accessory happens to be his glove, which does come right off. It's one of those accessories where you literally just put it on top of his arm. I will claw you. It would have been difficult to have Freddy Krueger have his stereotypical hat that he usually has, so Funko solved that problem by putting on a hood that is very similar to Skeletor. And they had to make sure to show some of Freddy's muscularness by having his shirt being ripped. Not to mention some of his pants as well. Here's a little view under his skirt underwear. Close up of his face, and dang, he does look like he's really angry. I am impressed with the whole burnt look that they have with him. For such a cheap figure, I think the detail that they put into the burnt flesh is really amazing. Even though Jason's my favorite character out of the bunch, the figures, I gotta say that I think Freddy's my favorite. Next, let's look at Michael Myers. I'm sure he's grimacing or making some sort of angry face under the mask. He comes with two big-ass knives, which is very reminiscent of what he would be using in the movies. My only real complaint about his figures, he doesn't really hold on to the knives very well. They just seem to slide out of his hand really easily. But other than that, I think he looks amazing. I mean, they did use the same type of sculpt where the body and the arms are quite muscular. Not as much detail is put into his clothing, but they still put in some stitchings. Here's a view from the back. Also a view under his skirt underwear thingy. A close-up of the mask, you can see that Funko did attempt to put in some of the scratches and markings on it. He may be one of the weakest of the characters here, but his eyes look so incredibly evil. Finally, we got Jason Voorhees. He comes with two accessories, one of which is an axe that has a bone handle. He also comes with a machete, or at least it looks like a machete, that also has a bone handle. The bone handles are pretty cool. It adds in, number one, for the whole savage look to these characters, and number two, Jason probably would make some sort of weapon out of someone else's bones. The only complaint with this is he doesn't hold these very well. In fact, they just kind of slide right down. Ooh, he's got a sexy leg strap. The makers were going with the much more decayed zombie version of Jason where his bones are exposed. Even on the back, you can see his ribs and you can see his spine. Look at this evil face. And they did put in a good amount of detail to this as well. He's wearing a skirt tunic thing, but he's also wearing short shorts underneath. I really love that they're wearing the He-Man furry boots. Overall, really cool. Let me go through the articulation for these figures real quick. First, there's movement in the head, arm movement at the shoulder, waist movement, and leg movement. Although I should add in that Leatherface technically does have wrist movement in one of his wrists. I figured I'd show a comparison of He-Man and Skeletor next to these guys so you can see that they're in the same scale. I can see Skeletor and Pinhead teaming up, and then Skeletor attempting to betray Pinhead and not realizing how evil Pinhead really is. And then He-Man just taking them all on because you know what? He's He-Man. So anyways though, cool figures. I think they came out pretty darn good. If you're a He-Man fan or if you're a horror fan, then these guys be right up your alley. So that's it for this video. If you're interested in picking up these figures, I got them at GameStop, but they're also available on Amazon, and you can also look on Funko.com for basically the same prices. It's all up to you. With that, thank you guys for watching me in this video. Be sure to check out my Patreon site when you get a chance, my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. No joke, wouldn't it have been really cool had they had this action put in there? I mean, I know that may have been kind of cheesy, but I think it still would have been really cool, and for all the He-Man fans out there, they would have absolutely loved it.